The African National Congress was among several organizations that united against the introduction of value-added tax in the early 90s. The liberation movement believed that the tax would deepen poverty in black communities and fuel inflation. More concerning at the time was the proposed application of the tax on medical and municipal services. Some viewed this as an introduction of a tax on another tax. Most municipal councils were against the VAT.
Well, the Johannesburg City Council, as with other major cities, as with other members of the United Municipal Executive, are going to make very strident representations to the Minister of Finance that this should not be allowed and that we should be zero rated as far as property is concerned.
Despite the nationwide objection to VAT, government went ahead and it was introduced. This prompted a nationwide strike action on the 4th of November 1991. COSATU, along with the African National Congress and other organizations, led the strike action.
We estimated that more than 3.5 million workers today supported the general strike, which was called to demand that the government change the VAT system and immediately enter into negotiations on the macroeconomic future and policies of South Africa. Today's action was also a remarkable display of unity by a wide range of trade unions, civic, political organizations, business groups across the spectrum. NAFCOC, FAPCOS, SAPTA, and small business fully supported this action. We commend these organizations for the efficient way in which they have ensured that our action was a success.
Few months before the introduction of VAT, government consulted various stakeholders for inputs. A multiracial coordinating committee on VAT was established to formalize engagement with the government of F.W. de Klerk on the proposed introduction of VAT. The group was represented by 18 organizations, including Operation Hunger, trade unions, consumer and health bodies.
The state president has given us his undertaking that he would look very seriously at the proposals we put before him today, particularly those proposals relating to zero rating of basic foodstuffs, the provisions for mechanisms to enable particularly the disadvantaged communities on questions of water and electricity. There was also a commitment from him to look at further ways on negotiation related to provision of poverty relief programs. We do believe, however, and made it very clear in our meetings, that we felt that those provisions for poverty relief were totally inadequate.
The education sector took the decision not to take part in the nationwide protest actions, but teacher unions warned that pupils and teachers were prepared to join the picket lines soon after the examinations.
We don't want to plan any form of mass action because we think that all our efforts must be directed at the examination process. After examinations, we are considering possibilities of students and teachers participating in the strike because we are actually supporting the campaign against VAT in the country.
The coordinating committee on VAT was established to look at some of the concerns raised. ANC and COSATU members were included in the committee. Despite this, there was still a lack of trust between the ANC and the National Party government.
At the very last meeting, when our committee had a meeting with Du Plessis, all he did was demonstrate his kragdadig hate and informed the committee that he is not prepared to move even an inch towards meeting the demands that are being made by the people. Mr. Chairman, this is a clear indication that the South African government, in implementing this tax, is actually making a mockery of the whole process of negotiation. But what do we find on tax? We find that the government is actually willing to do it alone, do it on an arbitrary fashion without any consultation whatsoever.
One of the VAT committee members, Bani Fanarov, a former trade unionist, warned government against taking unpopular policy decisions.
That the government up to now hasn't really understood the level of opposition in a very wide spectrum of organizations and among the people in the street against the VAT system. We hope that from today's summit it will be clear to the government that this is an extremely unpopular action that they've taken, and in view of that opposition, that they will be prepared to look more openly for a solution.
Then Minister of Finance Baron du Plessis condemned the protest actions aimed to challenge the introduction of VAT.
A value-added tax is a good tax. The cement price is already cheaper as a result of it. It is a good tax. We must maintain value-added tax as a good tax on a wide base at the lowest possible rate. It will serve our economy best, and the people in the private sector understand it. And then also, we cannot, by way of pressure or protest marches or whatever, be forced to involve trade unions and all kinds of organizations into policy making as far as tax is concerned.
The ANC and COSATU used its seat at the newly established VAT committee to push for zero rating of certain foodstuff.
Warned previously that the way in which VAT is being imposed will threaten a tax revolt as a whole. Already in the coordinating committee, the medical sector has indicated that there will be civil disobedience relating to the payment of tax on medical services. We have indicated that this civil disobedience is going to take the form of resisting other forms of taxes. The Coordinating Committee on VAT has also adopted a program of action that will involve the organizing of mass marches on the 30th of September.
At the end, government had its way, and the VAT was introduced at 10%. Tsepo Mungwai, SABC News, Johannesburg.